With CNN's Candy Crowley moderating tomorrow night, about 80 uncommitted and undecided voters from the Nassau County, New York area will ultimately decide what gets asked, which may prove to be a challenge to both candidates. For Romney to show he's capable of connecting to regular voters, and for President Obama to appear not too professorial. But the town hall setting begs the question, how can there be 80 undecided voters out there to fill the seats? Here with me now to preview tomorrow night's town hall-style presidential debate is Imogen Lloyd-Webber, political analyst and co-author of the Twitter Diaries, and Tina Dupuy, syndicated columnist and editor-in-chief of thecontributor.com. Thank you both for joining me. So, Imogen, let's start with you. Who are these 80 folks? I mean, where do you find? I haven't found a single person who pays any attention to what's going on in the world who doesn't have a confirmed view one way or the other.
Well, it might be they're scared that they're talking to you as well. That's the other thing. You are a big-time TV host. Look, America is known as the 51-49% country at the end of the day. I love America. Americans like to think that they're on the winning team as well. And let's face it, if moderate Mitt has momentum, they might actually be more inclined to vote for the winner. So there might be a few more undecided voters there than you're giving credit for.
I just want to understand this. So you come over here from Great Britain and you basically say we have no conventions. We'll just go like weather vanes wherever the polls lead us.
You are a 51-49% country. You're more moderate than many Republicans and many Democrats would have us believe.
Okay, so there is a rational segment in the middle. You buy that?
No, I'm actually very skeptical. See, like people who say that they are undecided, at this point, I think they're just low information. I think if you at this point say that, oh, I don't know about Romney and his tax plan, I think that you haven't been paying attention. However, I did speak to a high school last week, and the civics teacher actually asked me where Romney stood on issues, and I was like, well, and it was trying to decipher to high school students where he, if he was in fact going to...
Romney doesn't know where he stands on the issue, so you can be excused for not answering the question.
Right, exactly. So it's a combination of low information voters and not really knowing enough about Romney, but I mean,
You're kind of where Bill Maher is, which is to kind of look at these low information voters, which is a polite way of saying people who don't pay a lot of attention. Look, democracy is the greatest system on earth, but you put your hands, the choice in the hands of people who may be low information voters. That's what we've chosen to do, right?
Pretty much. I mean, but I think there's this mythological people who are, they're the elderly statesmen, right? They're going to like weigh all the evidence, and I just don't. I think that most people at this point, that if they're saying that they're not decided, that means that they are actually just wanting to be on television.
In terms of style tomorrow, how does either Governor Romney or President Obama pretend to be Oprah Winfrey? I mean, neither one of them is terribly good at it. Mitt wants to be a CEO consultant, and the president wants to be a professor. So how do you morph yourself into Oprah overnight?
It's probably going to be a little bit easier for President Obama. At the end of the day, I am praying that the women question comes up, because obviously it's not going to come up at the next debate with foreign policy. Biden owned Ryan on the women question. It's absolutely key. I believe you're always talking about this with the Supreme Court and so forth next time round. So that's going to be key. As far as Romney goes, of course, he has got a challenge, but he has a massive opportunity, because if he appears relatable to middle-class voters, then at that moment, that could really be a moment where he cements that poll bump that he got after the debate last time around.
You agree with that in a way the greatest upside here is still with Mitt Romney, who can sort of crystallize what he created last time?
Well, it's always been Mitt's to lose, but he also is not one of those people, he doesn't connect with the average voter. So if there's any kind of test when that comes, he's not going to actually do well. Obama is a little bit better. He's not Clintonian by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to I feel your pain.
Right.
But he's a little bit better. This format was a lot better for him 4 years ago when, McCain looked weird. He was walking in front of cameras. But Obama was running against, 4 years ago, he's running against someone whose hair was on fire. Now you have this, his opponent is hedging his bets more than McCain was. So this is, it's very challenging for Obama.
Barack Obama needs to reclaim the simple mantle of hope and change. He went from being hope and change to the status quo. And the question is, how does he communicate to the audience, not only those in the auditorium, but the 70 million or plus who will be watching this, that he actually still has a plan for hope and change, none of which has come through in his communication with the public in the past 2 years.
This is my greatest problem with Obama. If he cannot defend his record, how can he expect anyone else to?
Right.
But he also needs to be proud of his record, Eliot, at the end of the day. I come from another country, and just let me tell you how well America is doing right now. No other country apart from Canada in the G7 has done better than America economically since the financial crisis in 2008. in Britain, we would kill for your level of economic growth right now. You've got the lowest unemployment rate for 4 years. You've got the lowest foreclosure rate for 5 years. Obama needs to own that record, fundamentally.
You are right, but he emotionally has been playing defense. He hasn't been willing to stand up and say the stimulus worked. Be proud of it. It is something Keynesian economics is right. Here's what we did for you. Instead, he's been shying away, as you just did, from trumpeting the successes of a government program that actually did some tremendous good.
Romney brought up death panels the last time. He brought up death panels, and Obama was like, no, that's not true. What? No, you pound his head into the floor for saying that.
Right.
You know, I mean, that was the lie of the year in 2010. I mean, you have to correct the record. Romney's been doing all sorts of weird, he's been getting away with a lot of lies. My problem is not that he wasn't lively. My problem was that he didn't defend himself.
But is tomorrow night a problem emotionally for the president? Because at the same time you want him to project that sort of sense of confidence, you need to be empathetic. Because he's going to get a lot of questions about people who are dying for the I feel your pain answer. And so he's got to, instead of trumpeting how much progress we've made, kind of embrace them and say, yes, I know how far we still have to go. There's a tension there, isn't there?
It's channeling what Bill Clinton did at the convention, which is why, of course, there was that great big bump in the polls for the Democrats after the convention of saying, look, you did the right thing by voting for me in 2008. And we're on the right path, but we're not there yet, and I do feel your pain.
Okay, last point. Will the president pull it off?
Oh, I hope so.
That's a dodge. I'm not going to let you get away with that. You have to come back after the debate and we'll figure it out. Imogen Lloyd-Webber, political analyst and co-author of the Twitter Diaries. Tina Dupuy, syndicated columnist and editor-in-chief of thecontributor.com. Thank you both for your time tonight.